Hello Flosstube, it's Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner, and I am here today with Flosstube number 32, I believe. It is August the 11th of 2018. Sorry, I don't normally add the date, but I was watching some other people's Flosstubes, and they said that some people asked them to add the date, but I said that date super awkwardly, and I know that. Today, I'm drinking, I thought to say today was sponsored by, but I'm not sponsored by anyone, that's crazy. Today I'm drinking this Arrowhead Sparkling Raspberry Lime, and so there's like no sugar or anything in it. Those of you who have been watching for a while know that I was diagnosed with diabetes this year, and giving up sugars has been a struggle. I have caved and had a little bit of candy, so I'm trying to get myself back on track, and I'm actually really enjoying this flavor. I've never tried it before, but it was on sale at Walmart, and so I got a case of like eight cans, and it's actually really good. It's really refreshing, and considering it's 103 degrees outside, I could do with some refreshing. So I am really enjoying finding drinks that I do enjoy. I used enjoy twice there. That was excessive. Because, you know, I used to always just fall back on cherry Coke, which is my favorite. Or, well, Coke in Africa is unbeatable, so. But now that I'm not really allowed to drink those, I'm having to try new things. And because I get bored of just, like, the flavored water, like this wild cherry, caffeine-free, sugar-free. It's no longer sparkling because I've been drinking on it for like a week now. But so it's nice to try some new things, and to, like, my aunt used to, well, still does, drink those LaCroix drinks, and I always thought they were completely disgusting. But now I've like learned to enjoy them, and so this, anyone who wants to try, it says it's free of calories, sugars, sweeteners, and colors. So, I mean, you don't even have to worry about artificial sweeteners. I'm sorry, that was like an ad, and I didn't mean it to be. Anyways, I have got a lot done since I spoke to you guys last. If you watched my 2 planning videos that I put up, you know that I have plans coming out the wazoo for the month of August, and I have managed to stick pretty close to my plans. I am a day behind on arbitrary August, but I will catch up with that today or tomorrow. Up until a couple days ago, I was able to say that I put at least 100 stitches on each project, but I will talk about why one project is the exception to that in a minute. I did work a little bit on some crochet. However, I only got like a row or two, a couple rows on the 2 projects I worked on, so I'm not going to show that to you guys today. I mean, I'd like for there to at least be some noticeable difference before I talk about my crochet all the time. And also, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. Hi, Julie. I'm still really sad you're not in Satin Door with us. But anyways, Froggin's in 2nd place, so you really should still, like, do it. Anyways, she said that she doesn't think I've shown any of my quilts. And I don't actually think that I have shown any of my quilts. And part of the reason is, well, I only have one quilt still here, and that's the first quilt I ever made. It's kind of dirty, probably. Like, I mean, it's worn because it was the first quilt I ever made, and it's always on my bed. I use it more than I use my comforter. So, I mean, guys, seriously, there's nothing like a homemade quilt. The way that it keeps you warm in the cold seasons, and it keeps you cool in the hot seasons. Quilts are just amazing. I love them. But So I don't have any really here to show. However, I'm looking at it over here in the distance. I have laid out on the ground all of the blocks for my sister's quilt that I'm giving her for Christmas. And so that's my plan to work on that today. I also need to do some cleaning, and so my plan is kind of to like alternate, like do one row of the quilt and then clean for half an hour and like back and forth, and I probably should fit George into there somewhere. But so I would like to try to show my quilt progress next week. It will be hard because quilts are massive, and I'm not even sure my arms will stretch or that I can get it in the camera. But Julie, I will really try to show you. To be completely honest, I don't love this quilt at all. I don't love the colors. I don't love any of it. My sister says she loves it, so I really hope she does. And the rest of my family says that the colors are perfect for her. And I mean, I know she'll love it because she's my sister and she'll appreciate that I made something for her. But it's not what I would have made myself. Oh, okay, I have the pattern here, but the colors are nothing like, so this is the pattern that I'm following. So what I've done is I've already sewed all the blocks together, and now what I'm working on doing is sewing the sashing in between the blocks. And I've done that for 2 rows already. I've done the sashing and I've connected all of those, and then I sewed the above sashing, so I've done that for 2 rows. So I have 4 more rows to do that for, because her quilt is a 6 rows by 6. It's a queen size quilt. And so my aim is I would love to have finished, okay, if possible, this week, I would love to have finished piecing all the pieces, like sewing all the pieces together, and then either during the week or at the beginning of next weekend, I'd like to sew the rows together so that the top will, well, I'd still have to do the border, but the top would be mostly done. Because if I could finish her quilt in August, or even if I could just finish the top in August, that would be a huge progress towards getting my Christmas presents completed. So since I started with non-cross stitching, I'll do my one other non-cross stitching. Oh, excuse the reach. So last night I Skyped my parents and my youngest sister for 5 hours till 2 a.m. here. So we Skyped from 9 p.m. California time till 2 a.m. And I watched the tutorials earlier in the evening for that Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts put up for knitting. And so I taught myself to knit. And I'm not knitting the dishcloth, which is the first tutorial, because I just wasn't in the mood, honestly. So I found another online tutorial for a shawl that is simply a garter stitch shawl with a yarn over increase. And so this is, my mom says it's not actually my first knitting because apparently I attempted it once before and she still has the evidence of that, but it's probably ugly. But anyway, so here is my first attempt again at knitting, and I am actually really proud of myself. I think my stitches are pretty even. My tension, I think, is pretty good. I mean, considering this is the first ever. I'm using this variegated Karen Simply Soft paints. It's called Springbrook, and this is something I already had in my stash. My yarn stash, which is quite excessive, actually. I have, like, you know those boxes that you put, like, decorations and things in when it's not the holiday? I have 2 of those that are filled up with yarn. And I have multiple and those are the yarns that I'm not currently using in projects. I have boxes of yarns that are in whips. Anyways, my crochet whips. So I'm actually really enjoying this, and it was so nice to just sit there, and it was, you know, it was pretty brainless, just like sitting there and knitting and relaxing, and like, I felt like, you know, sometimes in those old books, they'll describe the quiet sounds of her knitting needles as they sit by the fire in the evening. And I felt like that. It was really nice, which is, I don't know, probably cheesy to say, but, I'm really enjoying learning this. So, I had a 40% off coupon at Hobby Lobby. So this was regularly $14.99. This is, well, I took the labels out and I threw them away. So that was brilliant of me. Oh, what do you call yourself? Well, I don't know. It's not their Yarnspiration or their Yarnology brand. It's, well, I forgot. Anyways, so you could get this pack. It comes with three needles, 3 cables, 3 end pieces, and something about 3 cord keys, but I don't know what cord keys are. If anybody knows, I would really be interested if you could tell me. But anyway, so normally $14.99, but I had the 40% off coupon, so that was a really good deal. And now we'll get on to cross stitching. This is not in the order that I worked it on because I'm not sure what that order is. Like, my pile is just here. So, I am going to show you what I've done, and I'll attempt to give you a stitch count. So the first one I'll show you is Sweet Shop. This is a Heaven and Earth design. The artwork is from Amy Stewart. I am doing this one 2/1 on 28 count, 10 stitch, and I still really don't think that this is the style for me. But so I got in 101 stitches. So I finished a couple lengths that I had dangling somewhere around here. So that's what I've gotten done. Next, I worked on Beach Babies. Oh, I didn't write down the stitch count on this one. It was between 150 and 200. I know that. I have it in the spreadsheet. So what I decided to do was to carry the sky over to the end, so that if I want to work down and work on this side, I could do that. Oh, I should show you this picture. So this is Beach Babies from Dimensions. And so here's where I'm at in this time. I triple checked the number of stitches to make sure I did it right. And so I did just over 2 rows all the way to the end. And I know it was 78 stitches per row, And so I think I did 166. I worked on Fateful Night by Jiffy. This one is a Titanic piece. And so what I did was, I was over here. Did I say how many I did? 145. So I finished working down here. This is where the black stopped over here. And then I came over here and started working this way. The Arbitrary August piece that I probably put the most work into was Pumpkin Passport, Let's Go on an Adventure, from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I did 433 stitches on this, and I did manage to finish all of the words, which I was super excited about. So here we go. Let's go on an adventure. This is one where I gave my sister the kit. I believe I gave her the Ada kit for Christmas, like a year and a half ago, I think. And so she's working on it as well, but I haven't ever actually seen her progress. She is a one-at-a-time stitcher, and she's got a little boy, so she doesn't stitch a lot. Next I worked on the Linen and Threads 2008 Mystery. I put in 189 stitches. And so I'm still working over here. Oops. Let me fold this in half. So I think I was somewhere up here on this motif. So I did this curl, came down, did that and that. So I'm really happy with how this is looking. I put in 168 stitches on Grandmother's Hat from Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Josephine Wall. This is also on 28 count fabric, and I really just think 28 count 1/1 is too hard for me these days. Anyway, so I went once all the way across to finish up a strand, and then I decided to work down in columns with the black. And so then I did all of this. I worked on the Wonderland piece from Allison from Brooks Books. Here is how I have redesigned my layout of characters. Just so it makes more sense to me, that layout. Like keeping the whole garden party together. Keeping all the tea party characters together. Like the Mad Hatter used to be separate. Anyways, so I'm working on the checker border all the way across. So right now I'm filling in the black. And I did 120. So each, let me see if I can get this folded up better. So each of these is 25. So I did these 4 and then 4 rows over here. I worked on Fairy Tales from Heaven and Earth Designs. And the artwork is by James C. Christensen. This is on a ginormous 14 count Aida. Like, super ginormous. And so I did this right here. This is actually 2 colors. It's a black and a 939. It's hard to tell. And I did 209 stitches. In the picture, that's this section over here. There's in the next column, there's a little bit of this shape. Now we get to the project. I only got 33 stitches in, right? Yeah, 33 stitches. And that is my Quaker Christmas 2. And the reason I only got 33 stitches is I took this in to work on it in lunch. And this Aida is just so stiff and unwieldy. I couldn't do it anymore. Like, it won't even conform. I don't mind Aida. I work on Aida and I don't mind it. This is the worst Aida I've ever attempted to use. So I did a little bit over here. So I've decided to restart this. Still on black 14 count Aida. I went to Hobby Lobby. I got new black 14 count Aida. And it is so much more pliable and workable. I mean, I don't know if, like, I don't know if you guys can tell how bad this is. I mean, it's like you crumple it and you can still obviously see the crumples. And this is just like, it folds over and is nice. I don't know. It's so much better. So, the other one is a nicer black, I will say that. However, I think it will look fine on this, and I just can't work with this black anymore. So I will be restarting it. I don't know if I'm going to be restarting it during arbitrary August or not. I mean, if any of you guys know how I can make this Aida softer, I am open to suggestions, but right now it's just, it scratches my arms. The edges are so so stiff. So there's that, and that's the plans to go with that. So that's all for Arbitrary August. Next, I did work, oh, excuse the yawn, I'm sorry. I did work a tiny, tiny bit on George Washington. I did 571 stitches. This is my panel. And here's where I'm at. So I finished this brown, well, all the colors look alike. Well, they look similar. This color over here, I had most of it to do down here still. And then all this dark color that you see in here, I did that. I need to do that color still on the second page. So yeah, I'd like to work on him. Oh, sorry. I made project bags last Sunday. I mailed off the one for my giveaway. And then I made 3 like this. And I think I'm going to put George in one. And I'm going to put Lady of the Flag in the other. And then I sent the other one to Lori. So here we are. It's just my standard project bag. But I super love how this one looks. I love the material. Inside is this fabric I found that's the States. It's got like the Statue of Liberty, Washington, 1776, Liberty Bell. I think this is possibly my favorite project bag of all the ones I've made. So I'm really proud of it. And then as the final thing, and then I will say goodbye, I did have a new start. Last night I put in a total of 19 stitches. And that is the Miranda from Hocus Pocus trilogy. I'm making this for my aunt for Christmas. And I'm doing it on Black Ada. Let me put this behind it. So I just got a very small start. Honestly, I don't know why I decided to do this. It was after the phone call with my parents, so it was like 2. I was barely awake, but I was like, need to start this. It's for one of my Stitch What's classes, so I decided I was gonna do that. So, and then one thing I've forgotten to say the last couple of videos is I did win a Adopt a Whip off of the Adopt a Whip group, and this is a lavender and lace design. What one is it called? The Spirit of Christmas. So all I had to pay for was the shipping. This is what he looks like. And guys, this one, so much work was put onto this whip. All 12 stitches. So they sent it to me with just those 12 stitches done. And they did mark those off in pen on the pattern. That's alright. I prefer highlighter, so that's what I'll be doing going forward. But, I mean, this is, it's so cute. And it came with the fabric in 12 stitches. And, yeah, I was so happy to win. I usually never really win things. Having said that, I also just won a giveaway from Angela. I won a magazine. So she's sending me that all the way from South Korea. So that's so exciting. So yeah, I just thought I would share that. I need to add it to my spreadsheet, this one. I saw just before sitting down to film this, Carol asked me to do a flip through of the magazines, and I will do that either in a separate video or in the next video because I didn't grab them to bring them because I was sitting down to do this. And so I'm just going to end this video here, and I will talk to you guys next week. Basically, my plans between now and then is continue with Arbitrary August, try to get some work done in George, and I don't know about what other plans, because Arbitrary August is seriously taking up so much time, so much more time than I thought it would, which is weird because something that requires you to work on something for every day, you should figure that that's going to take all your time. But then I'm like, oh, I need to work on George, and not even just like my normal grumbling about needing to work on George, but because it's my Quidditch project, I'm like, I need to get the points for my team. And yeah, so I don't know. I am about halfway done with the audiobook. The war has officially ended, so that was really exciting. I have 18 hours more of the audiobook to go, and after that I plan on watching the series that's on Netflix. I believe it was on AMC first. That is called Turn Washington Spies. I believe did Lori tell me to watch that one? Someone told me to watch that one, and I watched a couple trailers for it, and it looks really good. So I am looking forward to watching that while stitching on George, probably next month. So until then, I will just be doing my stitching thing, and maybe a little knitting, maybe a little crocheting, probably some quilting, and next week we'll just see what happened. Thank you and have a great day. Happy stitching.